Good evening, everybody. Rev.Dave Roach here again. Gonna continue on our series I've been working on witchcraft. I called this series A Covenant with Death. Emphasis on the coven, as in witch's coven. I wanted to talk to you a little bit this evening, minister to you on community strongholds. Community strongholds. See, if you look through your community, and it's the same everywhere, I bet you that you can drive around your community and you can identify places or areas that are under demonic, if not influence, outright control. Now, that's real simple. It works the same way everywhere. It's the same pattern. You'll find you be driving through one area of town and the homes are beautiful, and lawns maintained, and you go around the corner and hit the next block and it seems like the houses are abandoned, people standing on the corners, prostitution, gang violence, literally on the next block over. Well, what causes that? That's because that particular region or that particular area is under demonic influence or control. Territorial demons, if you will. And that's why you can look through every community and the pattern's always the same. You find in these areas, you find liquor stores, porno shops, abortion clinics, government housing. All these areas are stricken with this demonic force that is controlling each area. Now, witches and warlocks will actually, when they want to take over or lock down, as they call, a territory, they will actually go to a community, to a territory, and go to the corners of the streets, and they'll perform demonic ritual magic there, put symbols on the ground, on the walls and things, and mark their territory, and they will actually usher in demonic forces to control that area. Now, I can prove this further if you just look at the street gang epidemic. Now, the actual robbing and the stealing and the killing and the raping that they do and the drug pushing, all that is a side effect or a symptom of the actual disease. And that's how come the police, and I've been in law enforcement for 20 years, been in uniform for 20 years, counting my Marine Corps time. That's how come that you can bust somebody on a Friday and Saturday morning somebody else has just stepped right into that void and taken their place. That's how come you can't make no headway, because you're only dealing with the symptom of the disease. It's like you hurt your back and you take pain medication. All it's doing is covering up the pain. It's not treating the actual illness. Well, when it comes to these community strongholds, all this crime and dope pushers and things of that nature, they're all just a symptom. The actual cause is in a higher reality, brothers and sisters. It's in the spirit world. It's in the spirit realm. You're not dealing with nothing natural. We're dealing with what the Bible calls in Ephesians 6, powers and principalities. Principalities, high-ranking demons in the spirit realm, in the unseen world. And you can't arrest a spirit. You can't jail, in the natural sense, a demon. Now, The disease has to be dealt with in a much higher reality than what we live in. If you truly want to take back your communities, you have to deal with it on the spiritual level, not this natural. You can't keep treating the symptoms. Now you look at, for example, let's take some of the street gangs. I mean, you got a whole bunch of them. MS-13, Crips, Bloods, Latin Kings, Hell's Angels. I mean, just give you just a few. There's countless of them. Each one of these street gangs is under the banner of a demonic entity, is actually behind the scenes running this thing. They will actually go into an area and they'll do what's called tagging. Now, tagging is just, street lingo for graffiti. You'll notice it. You go look at some of the walls and down by the tracks, if you have them in your community, the dumpsters and stuff, the walls on some of the businesses, and you'll start to notice that they've been spray painted or tagged with this symbology. Now, that's a whole separate sermon if I wanted to get on to symbology. But symbols, or sigils as they call them in witchcraft, they identify with a particular demon spirit. Now, you can look. I have examined these gang symbols for years. I worked in the Supermax Penitentiary for years, and it's in their communications. It's all over. They wear the symbols, tattoo them on their body to identify one with another. They start putting these symbols and stuff on the wall, and that's the first sign, brothers and sisters. You start seeing this stuff in your community. Start seeing these symbols, this symbology being spray painted and tagged all over the place. You're fitting to have a problem. Fitting to have a problem. These symbols actually, if you look spiritually, signify that this particular demon is ruling this particular geographic area. These gangs, they use colors. For example, let's just take the most common. Let's take Crips and Bloods. Crips, their color's blue. Bloods, their color's red. There are particular demons in the spirit world who favor different colors. And this is true in all the occult world. You can research this on your own. I mean, Lord have mercy, in the Masonic Lodge, which is one of the biggest occult organizations that there is, two of their three pillars, one is red, one is blue. Now, you can research that for yourself if you think I'm lying to you, but it's the truth. That's why they say, wearing your colors, because that color is symbolic for the particular demon that you are aligned yourself with. That's how come you got to watch what you let your kids wear in your urban communities, because they cross a certain part of town and they're wearing the wrong color, they end up getting killed. Latin Kings, black and gold. MS-13, green. All these different colors. This symbology means something, brothers and sisters. These demons, they are these spiritual powers that have ruled over these communities, are entrenched. They are dug in hard. That's how come it seems like nothing you do can break that power over the community. That's how come law enforcement at the end of the day is powerless in the natural. It's like a hydra. You cut off one head and 3 more come back. It's a never-ending fight because you're fighting it the wrong way. What really needs to happen is for the men and women of God, the church, to go into these communities, engage in the only thing that's going to make lasting change, and that's spiritual warfare. Now, may be the first to tell you in the last couple minutes I got before I run out of time. This stuff, it goes past prayer. Some spirits be dislodged by salvation alone, some by study alone. But there are these entrenched demons, these principalities, these strongholds, as the Bible calls them, that can only be moved by, as Jesus said, prayer and fasting. When the disciples were dealing with a fellow who was eat up with demons, and they had cast demons out before, they couldn't get this one to budge. And Jesus, they went to him and asked him, why couldn't they get this one to move? He said, this kind goeth out only by prayer and fasting. So it's time to up your game up in your communities if you truly want to free and rid your community of these demonic forces. You have to engage in some real strong spiritual warfare. Prayer, fasting. And I ain't talking about this stand up 30 seconds in your church and do 30-second prayer. I'm really talking about some fervent, the Bible says the fervent prayers, effectual, fervent prayers of the righteous availeth much. Not just the prayers of the righteous. You have to start praying with some intensity, with some purpose. Target your enemy to pull it down, because otherwise they're not going to move. And all the arrests in the world, all the prosecutions in the world ain't going to solve the problem. The problem is in a higher world. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of what? Strongholds. Yeah, if you want to break free and truly set your community at liberty, where it's safe for your children to go to the city park, it's time to get off your butt and start engaging in spiritual warfare. And for these lackadaisical Christians out there that don't like what I got to say about this, well, if you can't hack it, you better get your jacket. Till the next time, God keep you and bless you. Love you in the Lord.